Hi and welcome back to my channel. Ashley here. I'm here to talk to you today about a couple things. But first and foremost, welcome back. It's been a minute. I was off YouTube for about a month or so, and I decided today that I was gonna make a video for you guys. I've had so many things going on in my life and in my heart, and I felt like today I wanted to jump back on and share some things with you. So here we go. All right. I'm not sure if you were aware of this, but we're living in a world that is basically turned upside down. A society that has gone crazy. Whether you are on either side of the political spectrum, it's hard to kind of turn your eyes from what is going on in the world. I feel like people in life have gotten a lot more selfish, a lot more cynical, a lot more like just thinking self-preservation. We've all been through so much trauma, from COVID to like the political things that are going on, and I think everyone just kind of has had it and they're in self-preservation mode, whether they realize it or not. So I'm going to be sharing today about just how I've been able to cope with these things and these feelings, because you kind of go through the motions of day to day, and for me, I started to realize like I was feeling like I was living in the Matrix. I'm going to work, I'm coming home, going to the gym, I'm eating dinner, I'm going to sleep, and you just get into this groove and this pattern. And while it's not wrong to have a system and stuff, for your life, you don't want to get stuck just kind of like, with the gears turning, and, you start to lose a sense of yourself. And that's kind of like how I was feeling. I don't know if you've ever felt this feeling of like depersonalization, kind of like you were just a robot in a way, just going and doing things, and didn't really have a moment or the time to kind of see how you felt about those things or rationalize things. So I think a lot of people are making poor decisions nowadays. I mean, it's probably been going on forever, but especially when we're in situations where we feel a lot of pressure to make decisions, when we feel like we don't have the time or the space to process our emotions or how we feel about things, or maybe we feel pressured to feel a certain way, when really on the inside, we have these alarms and these triggers that say, that's not really how I feel and I don't agree with that. Okay, so it was a journey for me, and I'm still on this journey, this life journey of discovering, what is real and what is not. Really, that's like my goal in life. And not to trail off too much, but I feel like one of my problems was getting aggravated because I couldn't control the behavior of others, and kind of internalizing that. And it would make me overexercise. It would make me, maybe have an extra drink, when an alcoholic beverage, when I had had enough. And thank God I haven't gone off the rails, too much with any bad or behaviors, in this space of my life, this time of my life. But I wasn't happy. I wasn't satisfied. I was feeling kind of, I don't want to say dead on the inside, but I felt like I had, run a marathon and I hadn't had time to catch my breath and process everything. So anyways, that's kind of like what I had to work through. So how did I get through, and how am I getting through living in the Matrix? So, what advice I would give you is just take it moment by moment. And you really have to get to a place where you are calm within yourself to be able to do this. So how can we do that? Okay, I talk to you guys as Christians because I am a Christian, but really getting to a quiet place and a stillness where you feel that connection with the Creator, and you feel like He is with you, He's guiding you, He's leading you. How do we know if He's leading us? How do we know if He's guiding us, right? Most people cannot hear this audible voice of God, and if you really did, you probably would explode. But anyways, it's kind of like a nudging or just like a knowing. Okay, so we have so much coming at us now, so much overstimulation, that we don't have time to really process how our soul really feels about this. And then people have a surplus of friends, or what they think are their friends, they're the people that are from job or the profession, and people have such a huge influence on us, whether we realize it or not. So getting to that quiet place, getting to a place where you don't have FOMO, you don't have fear of missing out on something. I know I experienced that. I want to travel, I want to do this, I want to do that. But then at the end of the day, I felt burnt out and I didn't feel like I was at my center and I didn't feel like I was calm. Okay, so maybe you're experiencing that as well. Okay, so getting quiet, getting still, going for a drive without music on and just listening to the quiet, or maybe processing hard emotions where you're crying and you're safe crying. Obviously you're not driving maybe and crying, although I have done that. And really just getting to the core and the center of who you are and who God has made you to be, so that you can start making healthy and healthful choices for the next moment of your life. Does that make sense? Okay, so there was a study in 2022, I believe, I'm going to link it, that talked about burnout. It says when work and professional environments are not well organized and managed, they can have adverse consequences for workers that, far from dignifying them, exhaust them and consume their psychological resources. So for me, I felt like this was really on point. I had to deal with a manager for several years that was really draining my energy. I won't go too much into that, but I didn't realize it until that person was removed from the environment, and then I started to actually look at the past years that I went through, and I just kind of dug my head down to get through that because I needed to work and I needed to make money. But this emotional exhaustion, so the dimension manifests in the form of feelings and sensations of being exhausted by the psychological efforts made at work, or it could be anywhere else, could be at home or with different friend circles. It is also described in terms of weariness, tiredness, fatigue, weakening, and the subjects who manifest this type of feelings show difficulties in adapting to the work environment since their lack of sufficient emotional energy to cope with work tasks. So you may be feeling this and you may think, man, I can't quit my job, I need to work, but I am feeling this, what do I do? I understand you. I'm right there with you. Okay, so we have the opposite side of this where people they don't care and they're just quitting their jobs and they're not even putting out the effort anymore. And to be honest, when you're in that place of burnout, you really just feel like giving up, taking a step back. And if you have a savings and you have the resources to do that, maybe it's a good idea to take a month or two or something off of work just to kind of get back to yourself, because you don't want to get to the end of your life and you're totally a version of yourself that you don't know because you made all these small compromises when you didn't just sit and listen to that still small voice inside. And I get it, people have families, they're married, they have kids, they have a lot of, things going on. But like I've talked about in other videos, you don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to have your kids in every single thing. It's all right for your kids to be bored once in a while. It's okay for them to sit around and come up with things on their own, okay? I'm not a parent, but I've been a kid once. I used to work with kids, okay? So that fear of missing out, posting those videos of your kids doing all these awesome things, it may look really good from the outside, but one thing I've learned is that I've learned many things, but I think when you're posting, and we know this, right? This life that is just extravagant and wonderful and you're traveling and everything, people may not even be in a place in their life where they can truly deeply experience that as their self and really just have these natural highs from these experiences, okay? So, what are some of the things that can happen from exhaustion, since we're still talking about that? It may lead to cynicism and depersonalization. You may feel like a robot. You may feel like you're just going through the motions. And what do? We go out to dinner on the weekends. We have a drink or two. We, watch Netflix and we decompress. We do what we have to do to get through life. Okay, fine. I'm suggesting to you that there is a better way. There's a way that we can refresh ourselves and maybe make changes in our lives to get closer to the person and the life that we're supposed to have and not just keep going through the motions, okay? So some of that takes, being alone with yourself and God and asking those questions and really, being honest with yourself. Are you really happy at your job? Are you really happy with the situation you're in? Okay, I'm not telling anybody to make any crazy decisions, quitting your job or getting a divorce or getting out of a relationship. I'm not talking about anything irrational. I'm talking about just getting alone, getting quiet and asking those questions and see what God has to say about you and your life. All right, so I'm gonna link that article. There's a couple of things I saw in there that were interesting, that you can also read about that might be thought-provoking for you. Okay, so how do we get the most out of this life? My thoughts on that is not even traveling to every place in the world or having the most money. I think to make the most out of this life is being your pure, genuine self, being honest with yourself, being honest with others, and then being led by God and where your unique journey is going to go. And it's as simple as that. You're going to have a peace, you're going to have this flow in your life that you never had before if you're able to tap into that and keep that throughout your life. All right. Now, switching gears a little bit, crazy topics online, even with the Christian community, and I think some of these things, while they may be true, cynicism and negativity is so prevalent now. And I think if something is keeping you close to God and the Creator, and someone says it's bad, meaning your understanding of a certain Bible verse or something like that, or a Christian song or a Christian church or anything like that, don't be discouraged away from those things. God does call us to higher things, though, higher, I don't want to say concepts, but the church, the Christian church now is going through, I don't know, maybe a transformation. It has started to look a lot like the world, and this has been going on for the past maybe 50, 60 years, where people are now famous Christian singers and they're making lots of money and they're, quote unquote, successful in the world. But where is the heart of God in that, right? So if you're looking for peace and you're looking to live this life in a pure way, trying to be famous and trying to get attention and trying to look like the world, when I say the world, I just mean the ideas of the world, the concepts of the world. I talked about negativity, things that are just a perspective, a way of looking at life. If you're thinking about what tattoo you're going to get this weekend, in my opinion, I don't think that the Holy Spirit would tell someone to do something like that. So there's a lot of confusion out there, and I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. All I know is that when I get to a place where I feel like I can't take the way things are and I need to take a step back and really reevaluate my choices, my life, and find that center again, to me, that is what is the pure life, if that makes sense. Okay, and I veer off from it. We all do. We want to have this image. We want to have this status. We want to show people what we've attained, and I've been guilty of that. And it really doesn't matter, right? We shouldn't be seeking after this status, because guess what? We're not going to feel satisfied. We're going to feel as empty can be. Okay, so the goal should be to find that balance in your life. Okay, so how you choose what to do with your time matters, and I'll just let you think about that. Okay, the next thing is alcohol robs you of your memories. So, people go through beautiful stages of their life at different times, graduations and, birthdays and marriage and, babies and just so many different things, right? And I find that alcohol is like the center of a lot of these events, and it can be really addictive. You may think, okay, I'm not drinking a lot, but I go out to dinner once or twice a week, I have a drink. I go to a party once a month, I'm having drinks. I'm going to a baseball game, you're having drinks. You see what I mean? So it kind of accumulates. And when you look back on those times where you drank or maybe you had a little bit too much, the way the human brain works is those memories are going to be foggy. And it also is damaging our brain cells, which is not great. Okay, so try to think about that. Alcohol is a poison. There are no positive benefits to it. I've talked about red wine in one of my videos. You can look at that. And it really takes self-control and being able to replace addictive behaviors with healthier behaviors. Be addicted to getting nutritional foods in your diet. Be addicted to getting enough sleep at night. Be addicted to things that are going to bring life and peace into your life. Okay, have goals for yourself. Don't just let the time pass by and you wake up 5 years later and nothing has changed, nothing's got better, and you feel like a shell of yourself, God forbid. That's terrible. I don't want that for you, and I don't want that for me. Okay, we have to be intentional now, today, in this moment, in order to make this progress happen. Okay, so try to minimize or eliminate alcohol. I'll tell you, I have not had anything to drink in about a month. I may have had a sip of someone's beer or something about a month ago, and I lost inches off my waist. I feel like my shorts, my jeans, everything's looser around my midsection. I feel like I can think clearer. Obviously, there's obvious changes, but I'll leave that up to you. Okay, taking time to breathe and practice seeing and responding to good things. So there's so many different attitudes out there and processes of thought. And when we're kids, we think that, or our parents tell us that, we are who we hang out with. But, and I've talked about this before, we are who we hang out with today as adults as well. So whether you're a teenager, whether you're 70 years old, surround yourself with people that have positive mental outlook and that are doing things in their lives that are enriching their lives. Like, instead of planning on the weekend to go party, plan to go to bed early, get that restful sleep so you can regenerate your cells, wake up early, maybe go kayaking, plan a workout, plan an outside bike ride, maybe plan waking up and seeing the sunrise at the beach. These type of things are going to give you those natural endorphins and make you feel so good about life compared to things that may feel good in the moment and take away the pain and the confusion for that moment, but don't provide that long-lasting, innate changes in your life. Okay, so practice deep breathing. If you find yourself at work or anywhere and you're just kind of like not able to handle what's going on, stop what you're doing, deep breath in through your nose, hold it, and then breathe out through your mouth. If you do this at least 3 times, I promise you it will change the whole situation. It may not take away the anxiety completely at first, but if you keep working on that and give yourself that positive self-talk, everything's gonna be okay. I'm okay. No matter what happens, everything's gonna be okay. You can quote Bible verses, you can ask God for help, but really focusing on getting those deep breaths is really gonna help you in situations where you feel burnt out and overwhelmed. You wanna take care of yourself. Don't overfeed yourself. Okay, pretend like you're your own kid or baby. You wouldn't overfeed a kid, right? You're gonna make sure they don't eat too late so they can sleep well. They're gonna have a planned bedtime and enough hours to sleep, right? So they can be healthy. Also providing the right amount of stimulation. You don't wanna be overstimulated. You don't wanna be binge watching shows or not making time to rest. If you're planning things every single weekend, you're gonna be overstimulated. You're gonna be burnt out and you're not gonna be caught up to be able to process your emotions and your feelings. And I feel like for me, I had to really realize that if I'm resting, it's okay, because good and exciting times will come. Sometimes we feel like when everything calms down, it's like, oh no, I can't handle this. I need to have it exciting and up all the time. But honestly, guys, that is really not healthy for our systems, okay? Find that balance in life. Learn how your body and your mind work, okay? And what your spirit needs. So only you will know that, and everybody's so different, okay? But in general, we're all pretty much the same, right? We need to feel loved. We need to give love. We need to be free from anger, from resentment, from fear. And if you look around, I don't watch the news, but when people tell me about the news, I can sense their trepidation. And guess what? That can be contagious sometimes. So if you know who you are and you're calm and you're peaceful and we have to know what's going on. I'm not going to dig my head in the sand and I'm not suggesting that. But you'll be able to better handle and process what is being thrown at you, whether people tell you things that disturb you or you watch things that disturb you. You really have to cultivate a life that is your own and know yourself enough to know what you can handle and what you can't, right? And we should be pushing ourselves. We should challenge our emotions. We should challenge our bodies when we exercise, right? We need to build up that tolerance to stress. And I'm not suggesting, flaking out on these things, but being able to know yourself enough to know what you need is really what I think I need to be doing, and I wanted to share with you. Okay, so go with your gut. Sometimes if we are away from our center and away from that homeostasis, we're not even gonna know what our gut is telling us. We may feel so confused. We may feel like everything's out of control. And that's only because we've let it go that far, because we've been covering up emotions for that long that we kind of have to pull ourselves out of that hole, in a sense, to be able to see the light and see the truth. So be easy with yourself. If you feel confused today, if you feel like everything's out of control today, I totally understand. I've been there so many times. Take a step back, get to know the Creator, and just, I would say, be still and just see what thoughts come into your mind. If you hear a lot of negative thoughts and negative self-talk, that's just something that you've allowed for so long that it's become second nature, and you may think it's you. You may think it's your thoughts when it's actually not your thoughts. It could be from things you watch. It could be from things people have said to other people that you heard, okay? So you have to have this protective shield. Really, if you want to read about the armor of God, that's going to be in the Bible, but you have to have this protective shield to be able to know who you are in this life and be able to enjoy it, right? Because regardless, every generation has gone through something crazy. We had the Great Depression in the 30s and around that time, and we have survived as human beings, right? So you can survive, you can get through this, but you can't be looking for politics, the news, conspiracy people, all these crazy ideas to kind of, infiltrate who you are and what you're really supposed to be doing in this life. It's just crazy to me. Okay, so stilling your mind and stilling your emotions is key. Okay, don't make important life choices based on rebellion, pain, or confusion. Okay, sometimes we think that by making a huge important decision, such as buying a house or moving to another place or getting into a certain relationship, is going to take away the pain, or maybe distract us from the pain, or kind of try to help us be less confused. Not true. Totally not true. Okay, don't make huge decisions when you don't know where you are and what you're doing in life. The best thing you need to do, I have to say, is retreat and lick your wounds and figure out who you are. And don't be afraid to be humble and to look like you don't have it all together, because once you rise out of that, you're going to be so much stronger and so much more effective in your life and in the things you want to do. So I feel like I'm getting there. It's a process, little by little, but the world system is very powerful. So it can be. You just have to do what you got to do to remain calm through that. Okay, I'm going to leave you with this Bible verse. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. That's Joshua 24:15. So when you hear all these confusing messages and, things that are trying to get an emotion out of you and scare you and make you confused, like, that is literally the goal of some of these ideas in movies and shows, and, just listening to different YouTubers and different things. Just try to see what emotions they're provoking in you, and then ask yourself the question, why are they trying to make me feel this way? Okay, what is the end result here? And then you be the judge of that. So for as me and my house, we will serve the Lord. I will serve the Lord. And that means the true living God of the Bible. If you want to get to know him more, all you have to do is ask Jesus to come into your heart and be sincere. And then just start reading your Bible. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm here for you. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for being here with me. More videos to come. And if you want to donate to my channel, you can check out the links below. And I think that's it. You can subscribe to my channel and like, of course, if you like. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.